Hello, everybody, and welcome into Perspective. Really glad you're here today because we're going to kick it off with an old and dear friend. Our first guest today is Eileen Bradshaw, President and CEO of Life Senior Services. Welcome, kid.
Thank you so much for having me.
So good to have you here. How you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Well, we got you here to talk about the magazine.
Yes, sir.
And if you folks haven't seen it, I've got about 3 copies in my hand. Let me just take one. This is the one with the ghost towns. Yeah. You and I share a common interest in things that are here and a lot of folks don't know about. On the front cover of the magazine, down at the bottom, it says, we visit downtown. And that's sort of deceiving because once you get inside, there are recipes, there are how to do this, how to do that, who to contact and when. This is a marvelous magazine.
I will take absolutely no credit for the magazine, but I will agree with you. I can't go to the grocery store without somebody coming up to me and saying, I love the Vintage magazine. I read the Vintage magazine. And maybe they love the puzzles. We had one man whom I know who his significant other made one of the recipes and he liked it so well, he sent us a check for $500. People really read it cover to cover.
Oh, I do. As a matter of fact, I'm a television junkie. But when I have an opportunity to sit and look at the new issue, I've got these things stored.
I'm so glad.
Because they now become a reference point for me. In fact, there's one here, Oklahoma Ghost Towns, discover a few of Oklahoma's once bustling towns. And there are a number of them in Oklahoma.
Now, that was really interesting. I'm always intrigued. Our editor and her team really puts a lot of thought into the editorial calendar for the year. And I always learn things. And things that I think are going to be, there was one kind of famous one about, I think it was the history of first ladies. And I was like, and I just kept my mouth shut. And it turned out to be one of our most popular issues ever. We got more comments from readers. And the story, when it turned out, was really great. So,
it's not a political magazine.
Not at all.
But it offers help for folks who might not know they need help.
Right.
And that's the thing I enjoy about it. On the ghost town issues, I knew there were a number of them. I didn't know why we had them. And you shine. Here I am giving you credit. The magazine shines a light on the darkened corners for me, to let me know why it's now a ghost town. But there were a number of them. One of the things a lot of folks don't know is at one time in Northeast Oklahoma, we had 40, count them, 40 black-owned and operated newspapers. Not everybody knows that.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that a wonderful thing to know? A little bit of history there.
And it gives you a perspective on what our state must have been like at that time. I mean, I feel like that makes it seem like it was, pretty progressive in a land where people could really have a lot of opportunity.
As CEO, you know how many people have a hand in this magazine. First of all, how many people are involved in cranking it out?
We have a wonderful editor, Dee Duran. She has a great assistant editor, Julie Alexander. We have a talented artist named Leah Weigel. And then that's the core staff. Everybody will pitch in and help proofread or do things like that. But that's really who makes it all happen. And then we hire independent writers to do the features. So it's a lot of work in a small group of people, but it is for the love of the game. They're also committed to this publication. And they really want it to be, if you think about who is classified as a senior, they're writing for an age group that's, age 50 to age 110 and everything in between. So the magazine is really designed to provide the resources that you mentioned. So if you are dealing with a caregiver situation or you're aging in place, you want to have those resources in there. But a lot of folks are just active, energetic, and out enjoying the world, and you want it to appeal to them as well.
Exactly. And in addition, there are how-to articles, and those how-tos they zero in quickly. But a lot of them come with turkey and gravy and a lot of dressing and all that, and it takes forever to get to the bottom and to figure out what the writer's talking about. These articles go right to the core of what your audience wants to know.
Right. No, I believe they do an excellent job of not putting turkey and dressing on, right? Just giving the instructions quickly and succinctly and in big enough print that I can actually read it.
This one has, and it, again, I go back to the one we held up a moment ago, but it's got downtown Tulsa memories, how buildings have been restored and repurposed. And on the front is a shot of Boston Avenue Methodist. And there's a controversy over who really designed it.
Who designed it?
But the young woman who is given credit for it, they're now refurbishing her home.
Yes.
And it'll be open for tours very soon. And you know, this one, A Beginner's Guide to Plant-Based Eating, because there are a lot of folks that want to know about that.
Right. And kind of demystifying some topics that, you know, if your doctor is telling you your cholesterol's high, yes, you can take a statin, but what can we do for ourselves? And the plant-based eating guide, you may just want to do it twice a week, but this kind of gives you, it just takes it and breaks it down and helps you kind of understand what that looks like.
The last time my wife and I were in Washington, and I wanted to go to this, and we ended up not enough time to do it. The International Spy Museum has an article on it in this edition. The Bond Effect, what makes the James Bond franchise a success. The Art of Disguise, Museums, Mysteries, Inspecting a Spy's Life.
That was a fun issue.
I'll bet it was.
It really was.
I always wanted to be a spy.
Me too.
But there's one other section I want to ask you about that you have in each one of these, and I should have had it open. Hang with me. But it's where you have little things at the bottom, pictures. This month in history. Great series.
We work with the Historical Society on that, and they give us, you know, interesting sort of little known facts. I really enjoy that myself.
You and I were talking about one such fact, not, you know.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Jennifer Jones. If you go over to Monte Cassino, pull in the driveway, go around to the right instead of the left where everybody else goes, you'll find a statue, cement statue, of a young woman kneeling, her hands, you know, and it's Jennifer Jones from a motion picture that she did where the person in the motion picture heard the voice of the Almighty.
Yes.
And then the Virgin Mary came to visit.
She had an apparition, yes.
And that thing drew tourists for years, and now it's just kind of fallen off.
Song of Bernadette was the movie. She's Bernadette, and it was a big, I heard about it from my grandmother.
Yeah.
Who, you know, it was a huge source of pride in Tulsa that she was, you know, a Tulsan and then modeled for the statue. So it is a shame that it's so hidden, but maybe now people will go out and seek it out because it's too beautiful to be
great.
left in the
It's
shadows.
a wonderful place to visit. I've been there. My wife's been there. My daughters have been there. It's a wonderful attraction. Needs to be featured more.
I agree.
Eileen, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Hope
We'll
to come
do it
back
again.
soon. Okay.
All
to
right,
date.
child, you're on. Short break. We'll be back with more right after this.